Brother Kanak.
Brother Tazawamya.
Brother Shalom.
Okay, we're going to start off with the Greek first and foremost. We want to give all honor and praise to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, and the great elders that's been diligent in this truth for many decades. No need for us to mention names, because you know who you are in the spirit. We know who you are. That's it.
All right, so today's lesson is on doing the work. All right, we're going to start with Luke 14 and 23. One of you brothers want to bring it up?
Yeah, I can bring it up. Okay. Luke. So this is the book of Luke, chapter 14, verse 23. And the Lord said unto the servant, Go out into the highways and hedges, and compel them to come in, that my house may be filled.
And that's what you see when you see brothers out on the street corners in their fringes. They out there speaking to the people, letting them know that we Israelites, and basically, like the Most High said, going out to the highways and byways and compelling them to come in. Brothers have different offices as well, such as myself. Like, I usually do the computer work or do videos. What about you?
Myself, I just study. Just been studying to help put my brick in, helping with some of the elders in the nation that been diligent in this truth for many years, and just moving in the spirit wherever my brick needs to be put in. How about yourself, Corey?
My brick is helping people, the young fellas, do the work, whatever they need, like in arms or anything. I try to fulfill that need for the brothers and stuff.
And being on the highways and byways is usually the main way that they bring people in. Usually the main way that the prophets bring people in. The internet is more like a new age type thing. That's excelling the awakening of the Israelites, because we can reach people all around the world now with just a click of a play button. They can see us all the way in Detroit, and they're in Australia, or they're in England or something like that.
Beautiful, King. Way to bring that out. So I want to read on the book of Timothy, chapter 2, verse 15, because alone before we even go out into the highways and hedges, we have to do our due diligence and get built up in the spirit. So this is the book of Timothy, chapter 2, verse 15, and it says, Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. And for our mission is to be able to come out and edify people with any issues, any questions. But you must understand that we don't go with our own feelings and words. We're coming out this Bible, just have all the answers, at least for the people that it belongs to. Brothers want to weigh in on that?
Like the brother was saying, you want to take your time with it. You don't have to just rush out there.
Right.
Like a lot of people, they just rush out there and they end up getting confounded, or it's a whole bunch of stuff that they don't know. Someone might ask them a question that they just can't answer because they're not on that level yet. So you might not want to just jump out there. I personally think you should spend a few years just learning. If you just came into the truth, you should spend a few years learning before you actually go out in the field, because there's so many different philosophies that you have to learn about, and the scriptures break them all down piece by piece. But you gotta go get that. We understand that it's a zeal that you get once you find out you're an Israelite. You want to tell everybody, but you gotta actually know the facts before you go out there and just start, speaking from your own heart. You gotta know the scriptures.
King, and I want to bring a scripture out relating to that as we move in the spirit. Once it's an everyday fight to conquer this flesh, but we must understand that we're moving in the spirit of Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai. So right now I want to bring out 1 Peter 5, verse 6. It says, Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of Yahweh, that he may exalt you in due time. So when we go into studying to show ourselves approved, not being ashamed of the Most High and rightly dividing his word, he gives us that ability to come out and teach our people without any issues as far as nonsense. I mean, anything that comes against us, we understand that we're going into this word because we've humbled ourselves, and in that due time, He exalted us to be here where we are now. All praise to Yahweh Shem Yahweh.
All praise to Yahweh Shem Yahweh.
I got a precept, Isaiah 58:1. It tells us, cry out loud, spare not, lift thy voice up like a trumpet, and show my people their transgression and their slakia, and the house of Jacob their sins.
And see, even when we bring that out, it says, cry out and spare not. You can't be inside no building doing that because won't many people hear you. The Most High commands us to come out here and do the work in the eyes of our people.
And everybody have their own way of teaching as well. Right. So you may see some brothers out there cutting Edomites. That might be why the Most High have them there. Their whole specific reason of being out there is not to cut Edomites, but that's probably one of the things that they specialize in. The Most High put his spirit on everybody, and whatever portion that he gives someone, that's just their portion. So you have some brothers that know how to speak to people really calm, and you got some people that got that fire in them, and people don't even want to speak to them because the way they bring it out. But they hear them, they receiving a message, but they scared to actually interact with the prophets.
And then what we must understand from reading Isaiah 58:1, it's not a love joy delivery that we're bringing to you. In the Christian church is all this, love. But at the end of the day, correction is not always about love. Correction sometimes can be stern. We read these scriptures, and these scriptures even cut us. Being new and babes to this truth and coming into it. If you're really humble in the spirit and you want to change and walk that narrow path, it's like the scriptures say, it's good to the mouth but bitter in the belly. So we understand that, and we hang our hat on that and bringing this word out and letting the word speak and not our emotions and feelings. I have another precept too, King. I want to go into the Most High. So this is Isaiah, the 30th chapter, the 20th verse, as it relates to us going out, us hearing this word, because at some point we had to hear or see this word some way. So this is Isaiah chapter 30 verse 20. It says, and though the Lord give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner, but thine eyes shall see thy teachers. Verse 21, it says, and thine ears shall hear a word behind thee saying, this is the way. Walk ye in it when you turn right and when you turn left. And see, we must understand that as a nation of people, the Most High knows his people. Stubborn, rebellious, stiff-necked. For me, when I first heard this word and looking at all the affliction, oppression that our people have, had to endure, and we still endure to this day, it just resonated with me right then and there. It didn't even matter about who was teaching it or whatever, but the word itself, that spirit just overtook me, and I knew it was time for me to do my due diligence and get to this point where I am right now today. Kings, want to add to that?
And I just want to say, brothers should just teach what they absolutely know to be true. Like Deuteronomy, the book of Deuteronomy 68, the curses. That's an easy way to bring Jake in. It's a very easy way to.
That's what brought me in. Deuteronomy 28:68. When I found out we came on the slave ships.
And we have like a lot of platforms. We understand that YouTube was the first platform, but there's many other platforms too that the youth use more than YouTube. So for the younger Israelites that got that zeal, they're usually on the internet sharing memes and stuff like that. Some elders may not like those apps, but that works for the younger generation. So whether it's memes being passed around, some people learn more than they learned in memes than they learned their whole high school, going to high school the whole time. So it's different platforms that brothers can use. The Most High basically made the internet for the Israelites to be awakened at this time. And it's pros and cons to having the internet, because the potential 2/3 use the internet for folly, and you have the Israelites using it to bring forth this truth.
King. So I have another precept also. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 3, verse 15, as it relates to us coming out to our people and being that light to our people and being equipped with the understanding we have to understand that the Most High, we've been ordained to do this. There's no getting around it. Like the scriptures say, many are called, a few are chosen. We're in that chosen position right now. So we're going to do our due diligence, hey, to rise up the 12 tribes of Israel. So this is Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 15. It says, and I will give you pastors according to mine heart. Who gonna give us pastors according to their heart? The Most High, not the cemetery or the seminary school or the old theologian school. That's not what this is talking about. It says, which shall feed you knowledge, Salaki, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. The knowledge and the understanding of the Bible is we are the Most High's chosen people, that He's turned His face from us, and the only way for us to get back to Him is keep His laws, statutes, and commandments. End of the day, point blank, period.
And I just want to say one thing. Like, you may be used to bring in a few men, or you may be used to bring in many men, but it's not a competition. Everyone's putting their brick in, and everybody's doing what the Most High have them doing. So don't get caught up in this to the young brothers. Don't get caught up in, trying to compete with another camp. It's not about that at all, The Most High gives everyone their own portion. Can I get, can one of you brothers bring up 1 Corinthians 14 and 38 for me, please?
1 Corinthians 14 and 38. Okay, so this is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 37. If any man think himself to be a prophet or spiritual, let him acknowledge that the things that I write unto you are the commandments of the Lord Yahweh Shai. And that's so true. So, in essence, if we dealing with this word and we going off our own feelings and we reading in the law where it says pork is an abomination, but I'm standing here telling you, I'm gonna eat my pork regardless, then obviously I'm not that prophet that's spiritual. And I lack the things, that requires me to be a teacher of this word, the truth of this word anyway.
And 14 and 38 says, if any man be ignorant, let him be ignorant. So you have to get around like-minded brothers that actually can see and understand what's going on, Because people laugh at us and think this is a game, when on the news they're telling you to take a shot that's killing you, and they don't have an explanation about anything, but they think we're the ones full of folly when it's really the world that's full of folly right now. Nothing makes sense in their world. Everything that we're saying is making complete sense. So get around like-minded brothers and go out and just do the work. Compel Israel to come in. The Most High said, where 2 or 3 gather, He's there with them.
Right.
That's paraphrasing.
I'll bring that up.
Okay, he's gonna bring it.
And just like you said, King, no answers, no liability. Just take the shot, and however the chips fall, they fall. If you fall, no accountability whatsoever. It makes no kind of sense whatsoever. I take my chance with the Most High. Forget that. Forget that. The Ak just brought out Matthew 18, verse 20. It says, for where, and this is a Mashiach Yahweh's red letter, for where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there am I in the midst of them. Don't look like we're in no big church building. We out here bringing the word to the sheep, edifying the sheep. And we know Mashiach Yahweh and His Spirit is among us, because the scriptures tells us this. Something else you want to add, King?
Yeah, and this is a sensitive subject amongst Israel. The camp banging and all of that stuff. Just don't get into any of that. Again, speaking to the younger brothers, like don't treat the organization or a group or camp that you in bigger than the actual message itself. Okay, that's a big thing within Israel. Some camps are like gangs, but you don't have to be that way. You could just go out and do the work and then just go home.
With you apply the scriptures. You got to apply the scriptures, not just say them. Apply them. You have to apply the scriptures.
Work. And we like saying it's as long as Mashiach Yahweh said, you keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, you my brother, you my sister. And you have to be about who know the most and who had the most, the biggest congregation and all that, man. That's just pure madness. We want to be the right example. So it's a precept I want to bring out in Ezekiel chapter 2, verse 3. The Most High equips us with the understanding. We know we're going up against dealing with our people, whether awakened or not. But it reads, and he said unto me, Son of man, I send thee to the children of Israel. And just to read that, how can we navigate from that understanding that we're going out to these highways and edges to the children of Israel? It didn't say the children of Moab or Ammon or no other children. It says to the children of Israel. It says to a rebellious nation that have rebelled against me. They and their fathers transgressed against me even unto this very day. So as we're reading this, we see the rebellion happening right now today. And it's amazing to me how people claim to know the Bible. As soon as you start reading these scriptures, the scriptures start coming out, getting all these emotions and everything and navigating from the truth of the word, and it's ridiculous.
They say it's outdated, huh?
All right, yeah, they want to
just don't want correction. That's all.
Yeah. And that's the sad thing. You want this world now, but we got a glorious kingdom that we all jockeying for. We try and put our bricks in and be right in the eyes of the Most High, so we can enjoy that eternal salvation.
Like spider, you think?
Yeah, the spider attacking you out.
Huge.
You can't stop the word.
Right. Yeah.
Stop the word.
There's no excuse for not doing the work either.
We've got to know that the Most High commands us to come out, as we read in Ezekiel 2 and 3. So I want to go to Ezekiel chapter 3. I'm going to start at verse 1. It says, Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, eat that thou findest, eat this roll. And you know, we get a lot of arguments. I had ox saying, oh man, well, you adding to the scripture, you adding this, you adding to the word. But in this context, a roll is talking about the Bible itself. And it says, and go and speak to the house of Israel once again. Jeremiah is prophesying that this word is going out through the Spirit of the Most High. It's going out to the house of Israel. It says, verse 2, it says, so I opened my mouth, and he caused me to eat the roll. And he said unto me, Son of man, cause thy belly to eat the roll, and fill thy bowels with this roll that I give thee. Then did I eat it, and it was in my mouth as for honey and sweetness. Verse 4, it says, and he said unto me, Son of man, go to thee unto the house of Israel. Once again, how many times do we see this in the Bible? Where the prophets, the apostles of Mashiach Yahushua was sent to his people. And it says, and speak with my words unto them. So when you really in the spirit, you can see that roll. It's not talking about a cinnamon roll or something like that. It's the word. I want to drop down to verse 7. I don't want to be too long with this, but it says, but the house of Israel will not hearken unto thee. We witness this right now today. It says, for they will not hearken unto me, for all the house of Israel are impudent and hard-hearted.
And what do you see when you...
No, you're good, King. You're good.
And that's exactly what we see when we're out there on the highways and byways. When you see the YouTube videos and people walk by and they scoff, it's not an act. It's nothing made up. This really happens. So when we're out there and we see people and we're trying to talk to them and let them know what's going on, they ignore us. Mm-hmm. They laugh at us. They scoff at us, just like how they do on YouTube. So YouTube is basically like a training tutorial, just getting you ready for when you get out there. And once you get out there, you know, you're able to, you know, find your way and maneuver through things and see what works for you. But that's the exact same thing that's happening today.
Exactly. So, and we continue in this. I mean, this is just a powerful chapter. I love the prophet Ezekiel. So he says, where was I at? Verse 8. See, we know, like the aqua just bringing out, we being trained and trained up to go out, and we know how to deal with our people and what we face. Verse 8 backs this up. It says, behold, I have made thy face strong against their faces, and thy forehead strong against their forehead. So you can come up with your pseudo-science, Egyptology, madness, but the last time I checked the record, the Bible is undefeated against all that madness. And as we're commanded to go out, this is what we're doing. We're out here teaching right now, House of Israel. We pray that you guys will hearken to these words. And with my mighty brothers with the warriors of David, that's just our focus, to bring up and edify people. I know there's some brothers, some sisters out there right now that probably don't know which way to go. They're in this truth and they don't know which way to go. I was there and I just prayed continually, fast continually, and the Most High blessed me with these two brothers, and we gonna move forward and become mighty in this truth. You guys want to bring something else out?
I just want to say, when you out there teaching, you have to have patience. That's the number one thing. You have to have patience, wisdom, of course, and discernment. Don't just, what the Most High say, don't cast your pearls amongst the swine. Yeah, you got to know exactly who you can speak with, you know? Some people walk up to you just to scoff and laugh at you. You know, you don't want to spend too much time on them. You want to spend it with the right people that's going to sit there and understand and take the time out to listen. And if you even handing out flyers or anything, you might want to make sure you give it to the right person instead of walking down the street later after camp and seeing flyers on the ground because you were just passing them to anybody. You have to use that discernment to know exactly who you should interact with. But you don't want blood on your hand either, but you really do have to have that discernment.
King, and that's the spirit. I was about to bring that out here in Ezekiel 3 verse 17. It says, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. I mean, this was so powerful to me when I first read it. I mean, it's like, it's not an all-inclusive thing. In the next line, it says, therefore hear the word in my mouth and give them warning from me. Not from your Christian pastor, not from your grandmother or your grandpa, your brother, sister. Most High through the spirit of Ezekiel said, give them warning from me. So even with that premise alone, that destroys the premise that God is good all the time. Because if somebody's just good all the time, what they need to warn you for? For verse 18, it says, when I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speak to warn the wicked from his wicked ways to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hands. And this is a key element why we coming out to teach our people, because we got to get that blood off our hands. And the scriptures is clear. We commanded to do that. It ain't like saying it might not always come off as something tastefully and pleasant, but at the end of the day, we trying to save ourselves and our people.
You want to say something?
Okay, so I can go with verse 19. It says, yet if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor his wicked ways, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul. So once again, hey, we coming out here to edify people and uplift, the glorious Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, in hopes that, that spirit will overtake our people to come in and be a part of this and cleanse themselves of all their unrighteousness. Okay, there you go, King.
And the truth is getting out there too. I personally don't think we're going to be out here too much longer doing this. The Most High tell you to come out in season and out of season, whether if it's hot outside like today or even if it's cold. But even if it is cold and you don't go out there and prophesy to the wind when nobody's out there listening, so you can still make videos that can reach people. You can still make an impact. Whether a lot of people call them Facebook prophets, but Facebook is actually doing a lot of damage right now. And I personally believe that the reason why the whistleblower came out was because they reported hate speech. This truth is damaging a lot of people, and they're getting ready for what's about to go down, but it's also causing a lot of stress and a lot of depression because they've been lied to and they're finding out the hard way.
Finding out the truth is coming out with the brothers.
King, I want to bring out that precept that you mentioned. This is the book of 2 Timothy chapter 4 verse 2. It says, preach the word. be instant, in season, out of season. It says reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine, meaning we can't just be doing this with our own words. We got to use the Bible for correction. We got to use the Bible to give understanding. Because everything that afflicts us and the reason why we're dealing with it is sitting right here in the scriptures. I mean, it's all good, man. We coming together to bring this word out, and hey, we can always go through the precepts to, let me see. Here's a precept right here. I go to, I mean, it's a beautiful thing to see our people waking up and finally coming back to their true heritage and culture, but then it's just a matter of understanding how to apply it. We definitely want to do that, but the word is powerful. It's just a powerful thing, and the more we uplift Yahweh B'Shem, Yahweh Shai, we continue to see the fruits of that obedience. So I want to just bring out the book of Psalms, Proverbs. The book of Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 20, and it reads, "Wisdom crieth without, she uttered her voice in the streets." This is the reason why we commanded and we understand going out into the streets and teaching our people. I mean, it just, for me, it's an indictment on these churches, but we know that's all set up by, this kingdom to really keep our people in bondage. Verse 21, it says, "She cried in the chief place of concourse." Chief place of concourse, that's out in the open area where people can be seen going back and forth and the word can be heard. It says, "In the openings of the gate, in the city she uttered her words." And this is powerful, verse 22. It says, "How long, you simple ones, will you love simplicity?" And we go through that. I mean, so many of our people it's just amazing how you get all these different idealisms about the Bible and who wrote it and why it was wrote. When it just show you how powerful the Most High is, because really, if the white man wrote this book, why would he be condemning his own self in the book? And if he was smart, as people take him to be, hey, he would have changed all this stuff. That show you the power of the Most High. It said, "And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge." And that's something all my life. I knew something was wrong, but I just couldn't put my hand on it until, just being on YouTube one day and seeing a video. It wasn't even nobody teaching, it was just a music video, and it was saying that the Jews were black. Like, wow, okay, let me watch this. That was like a baptism for myself. That's something I want to add.
Yeah, there's many different ways you can come in. Like, I used to say that wasn't nobody gonna come in through music. Come to find out, I was just ignorant at the time, but the Most High really did say that the young men make songs, and that's exactly what you see today, young men making songs. So if people come in off music, that's a great thing as well.
Yeah, but see, it's a contention point with that. Like, as far as my thing is, hey, we the top people. Everybody want to be like us. And you mean to tell me we don't have a culture of music that can't be righteous? We understand this. The Bible is first and foremost for anything, but you get some Israelite camp saying that you shouldn't be doing music or whatnot. But at the end of the day, if it's going to wake our people up, it's not nothing carnal or anything. Why should that be something that we even trying to debate? That's wild right there. Okay, so this is our closing statement with the law. This is Ephesians 6, verse 11. "Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not with flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, and against spiritual wickedness in high places." So with that, we're going to close this video, giving all honor and praise to Yahweh, B'Shem, Yahweh Shai.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.